That was the intro music.
Yo, oye, dice así. Si tú quieres con la café,
cuélame del paquete. Si tú quieres con la café, cuélame del paquete. Hector,
yo,
what's poppin', bro?
Welcome to Aqui Chillin, baby.
Bienvenido, mi
really
hermano.
chilling con el vino y toda la vaina.
Yo, hold up.
¿Qué pasó?
That's fucked up, loco.
Why?
Oh, they didn't serve you? Oh, my fault.
Oh.
Damn.
Y'all
Pero
all
yo te
got a
sé-
drink?
Damn, I'm feeling
Hasta,
special right
hasta
now.
Serene tiene un
Even
drink.
Serene.
Damn.
Yeah.
Mira ahí.
Even behind the scenes, we got drinks. That's cold.
Damn.
Oh,
Wow.
pero
That's cold.
Carlos
Yeah.
was on
You
time.
finished yours already?
yo,
Oh, you
No, I
chugged it?
didn't. No.
Somebody broke
chugged
her
it.
heart.
Right.
Yo, come on. We
She
started
said, forget
rolling.
coffee, I got wine.
muchacho.
Tú estás en depresión. No bebas con depresión, oíste.
Eso es malo para la salud.
First of
Fact.
all, Carlos se le olvidó de mi vaso. fue.
Nah, you drank it. You
Eso era
drank
agua
it.
que yo tenía aquí.
Es el cuento
Right.
tuyo. Hector,
¿Qué lo que?
what's up, my brother?
How you doing?
We chilling, bro.
Yo, we
We
chilling,
definitely
man.
chill. We aquí chilling right now.
Aqui chilling. Yo, Aqui chilling is a...
Vibe.
It's
It's
a
a vibe.
vibe.
You feeling it?
bro.
Oh, I'm vibing real good.
And
right
we just
now.
started.
And we
we
just
just
started.
started.
I don't know, but this one is a little strong this week.
Word. Word. You got the good batch.
Cuidado,
Yeah.
cuidado, que team le pone perico.
That's
a
what
esta
I'm
vaina.
saying.
Así que está la vaina.
Yo,
Yo, he
Cuidado.
don't want anything.
Shit. You know,
Chico, stop it with the perico. Yo, the people are going to think we are that.
listen, I'm trying to
Yo.
make us we flip it, but I don't know about consuming it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
We flipping coffee over here. That's what we doing
right.
today.
So I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Wait a
Like,
minute.
The thing that,
Yo.
you know, it'll energize you.
Cuéntanos, my brother. Tell us about
This thing right
the
here.
whole business, man. Let people know what it is, man.
So-
about that Dominican coffee.
Vamos a darle para
Wait,
allá.
but how
So,
it is
Vamos-
that you say what it is?
What it is, where you at.
There you go.
But the thing.
What it is, where you at.
Come on. Hector, holla at us. Tell us about the coffee. Let's start with the coffee because I feel like, bro, you're the first guy on the show that's bringing a physical product. You know, a lot of the artists and a lot of the other entrepreneurs, they do bring, you know, services and music, but you literally brought your product to the podcast
Right,
today.
right.
And we're excited to see.
And we all coffee lovers.
Oh,
Oh,
my
let's
God.
do it. Oh, this is great. I
So
should've brought
how
my
did
crew.
you get it started with this?
All right. I like a real New Yorker says, I'm back in New York City, not in Rochester. So boom. So basically, so I actually went to Government Community College. It's literally 2 blocks from here. It's
Oh,
on
wow.
40th and 6 right here.
Okay.
And I did 2 years there, got my associates in liberal arts and sciences, and then I got a scholarship with the Kaplan Education Foundation to go upstate to University of Rochester.
Beautiful.
So at the University of Rochester, I studied marketing. I always wonder, like, what was the thing that was going to be for me, you know? And I actually did an internship in high school at New York Life here on 42nd Street, and I was just like, this 9-to-5 office is not for me. You know, like,
Yeah.
I like the office vibe because it has that productivity sense to
Yeah.
it and that professionalism, but at the same time, I like being in the field. You know, I like interacting with people. I like connecting and selling a product and
That's
giving
what's
an
up.
idea. So I was like, I got to do half and half. And I was like, what can I get half and half with? And that's marketing. Because marketing, you're doing your thing, but then you're also out there. You know, you're in professional settings, but also out there mingling with the folks and all of that. So, boom, I did my first semester at the University of Rochester, literally 2018 in the fall. And my brother was like, yo, all right, let's see if this private university is really a thing. Let's see if you're really learning something. So he has a startup up in the Bronx. It's called Better Families Incorporated. And it's for like basically people who need care homes. You know how people have home attendants?
Yeah.
So it's basically your personalized home care.
So
like,
what
that's awesome.
he sources like he'll get like contractors
He'll
that'll go to
actually get your family members to take care of you. So sometimes people,
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
you know, like how you have like a rando come to your crib, right, and
Yeah.
take care of your parents.
He
or
said a
or your aunt.
rando.
Right.
New York all
Right,
day.
like around. Listen, we Aqui Chillin.
Exactly.
We gonna be chilling.
That's it.
Right, so you got a random person to come to your
Yeah.
house. Basically, it's personalized care. So you could get. So sometimes people, their parents get sick and they have to take off of work. They have to quit. So what happens is you can get your daughter, who's already taking care of you, might have not been able to get that income resource for her, so she can take care of you.
Right.
You know,
That's
your
nice.
family members.
And
your
they
friends.
get paid?
And they get paid.
Wow.
It's like 16, 17, 18 dollars an hour. You
What?
know, it's lit, right? So basically, to get back into this, so he asked me, like, yo, I need you to do what you learned in terms of marketing at my company. I'm like, I bet, let's do it. So I go to his office. It's in the Banknote building in like lower South Bronx, by the Bruckner. And every morning I would go to the office and listen, I like coffee, right? So there's a coffee station, and for some reason there was coffee always ready at the station, right? And I would come in at 9, it would always be ready, hot and ready, right? Just like Little Caesars. So I would go, and then one day I came early. I was like, you know what? I got some other stuff to do. I went at 8 in the morning. And I went to check the coffee station. I was like, let's see if it's if it's ready this early. And I saw the guy making it, and it was some Colombian guy, he's older man, and he imports and exports commodities, and one of them is coffee, right? And I was like, yo, you're the guy who makes this coffee. Yo, this coffee's good. Like,
so wait, did he have his own little stand or
no? He's here. It's an incubator space, so there's different cubicles in that space
with different businesses,
right? With different businesses,
Got
and
it.
he's one of them. He's like right next to my brothers, but I never knew.
Oh, you got to give me the address after this,
I
man.
got you. I'm gonna plug you in.
Yeah,
It's
because
the
you know
bank-
I'm a CPA, so I have my little own started my own little firm. So I need to talk to these business owners,
Bro,
man.
I got you. I'll plug
A
you in
little
all the way.
advisory, a little
plug right
tax,
there.
a little accounting.
That's the vibe,
This
huh?
where
I like this.
This where the networking comes in, right?
Look at
Right. So then I'm telling this man, I'm like, yo, there's some good coffee. Like, where can I get this? You know, like, where you buy this Key Food or something? Like, where do you get it at? You know, Fine Fair, right? I'm like, yo, where you get this at? He's like, nah, like, this is my coffee. Like, I'll bring this here. And I'm like, what you mean? He's like, yeah, like, he was telling me, like, this is what I do. It's like, I got this green company, blah, blah. I was like, okay, lit. And then I'm like, have you ever tried to sell it? He's like, yeah, I sold it one time at the supermarket, but it didn't really work out. Like, it failed and stuff. And I'm like, damn, like, maybe you didn't market it right. And he's like, why do you say that? I'm like, because I study marketing, bro. Like, like, it's one of those things, like, if you don't give people that perceived value of a product, like, they're not going to value it at what you're selling it at.
Exactly.
So it's one of those things. And then one day he was like, he looked at me like, oh, okay. And then, you know, we're in the same office space. So one day he came up to me. He's just like, yo, like, you know what? Come up with a proposal. Like, you know, you're a college student. Come up with an idea, like a brand, build a website, build like a system or something like that for this coffee. And I'll give you like 35 to 40% of the company.
Wow.
And I'm like, all right, but I'm like 35
Say no
to 40
more.
Right. But I'm thinking like, all he does is get the coffee. I do everything else.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of things that goes into that, you know, accounting, financing, marketing, building, you know, the customer base and all that. So I'm like, you know what? I'll build a proposal. So it's winter break. I'm working in my brother's office and I'm doing my own thing. So I come with a proposal. I did a lot of research. I actually began in my school working on it for some reason before then. And then I pitched it. I was like, all right, here you go. This is my idea. I'm like, you know what? We're living in 2019, right? What is the 2019 demographic? I'm like, all right, we need something that's going to tailor to everybody. So people are like, I was in the hallway. Some guy's like, yeah, I'm vegetarian. I'm like, okay. Well, like, what do you eat? He's like, organic stuff. I'm like, lit. I got organic coffee. It's like, you drink coffee, right?
Eco-friendly.
Right. So it's one of those things like, I was just like, what me as a millennial, like, what would I buy? Like, what would stick out to me on the shelf? And it's
Exactly.
like being eco-friendly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, when I was 16, I was a little rebel. And, you know, the Dominican punishment is like, te voy a mandar pa'l campo. And you gonna go over there, right? So my mom me mandó pa allá. And I was picking onions, bro, like, in the field, 6 to 4.
Damn.
Picking onions, you know, working with watermelons, pumpkins, and all this shit.
So you must have been crying the whole time
Bro.
picking onions.
You had the samurais on?
Right.
Samurai.
Bro, with the long sleeve shirt. So
With
the
the
trick is,
samurai.
you don't cut it. I will pluck them, but you don't cut it. If you cut it, it's clip. Prepárate. It's going to be the season finale. This is you just crying.
Damn.
Right. So basically, you know, I pulled up and I'm like, listen, eco-friendly, child labor free. Because in DR, I actually saw like children working in the fields. And I was just like, that's
like
where
little kids
Right.
working?
And that's when I really got that sense of like, wow, like, people say this stuff, but you don't really see it. Like here in New York City, they'd be like, oh, child labor, and you just like, yeah, whatever. But like when you see it, it's like, hold up.
Damn.
And then being in that process, I saw a lot of stuff. Like my uncle, you know, he's like, yeah, like I saw him put on this hazmat suit. And I'm like, yo, bro, what you doing? You look like a scientist. Like, what are you doing? Like, bro, you dropped out of middle school. ¿Qué tú sabes de ciencia, bro? So he was just put this tank on. He had the suit and he's like spraying all the plants. I'm spraying. I'm like, yo.
Was that pesticides?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, what you doing? Like, he's like, oh, this is pesticides, you know, herbicides. You know, we got to kill all the weeds.
Yeah.
You know, we got to kill all those bugs. You know, they affect the yield. So
So
what
you were
happens-
learning throughout that whole process.
Right. I'm just sitting there like, oh, okay, that's what y'all do. All right, cool. Like, I didn't really get it. You know what I mean? So that happened and all of that. So when I came back, I started doing my research and all this stuff. And I'm just like, what are GMOs? What are all these things? What are pesticides? What are herbicides? And I'm like, oh, this stuff is linked to cancer. Interesting. So it's one of those things where, like, if you have 100 plants, right, and you spray 100, you're most likely to get yield or a product from those 100 trees. But when it's more so organic, you get less yield, which is less products. So 10 trees, 20 trees, 30 trees might die because they don't have that armor. You know what I'm
So
saying?
pretty much those pesticides is like almost, can you say like steroids pretty much, or some sort of enhancement for the plants to survive all the weeds and the pesticide?
Right. It's like a chemical infuser that's tailored to the plant
Okay.
that kills other things that are not the plant.
Oh,
Right.
okay, got it.
So it's one of those things where, like, if it's a weed, kind of like, I don't know how it takes it or what kind of chemicals go into it, but it kills like the weeds, and for some reason it kills the bugs, but it doesn't affect the plant
Got
in
it.
terms of growing and living and stuff like
So
that.
it's Thanos.
right, Thanos, I was just going to say something like that. You know what I mean? I was just like, I was trying to figure out what is it.
Like,
Right.
Yeah, but the crazy shit is that it causes cancer, though.
Right.
That's crazy.
So a lot of
linked
people
to autism too. Like
Really?
it has all these crazy
Shit.
connections. Because it's one of those things. Like it's something that you just it's like chemically infused.
Yeah.
Um,
So keep going. Keep
right.
going.
So I hit mans with all these things. And I'm just like, you know what? USDA organic, and I'll tap into that in a bit.
Yep.
USDA organic, rainforest line certified. Blah blah blah. I'm hitting him with all these things. He's like, bro, you're doing too much. I'm like, what you mean I'm doing too much? He's like, I'm from Colombia. He's like an older man. He's like, muchacho, en esta finca, esos muchachos se crían ahí. Like that's what it is. It's a family tradition. Like these kids grow up there, they inherit that, and that's what it is. Like I'm like, okay. So I'm just like, no, but like if you pay these people a higher price, right? Like if you pay them $2, right? That's one thing. If you pay them $4 now, that kid don't gotta work there because that kid is working there to produce more so they can sell more, right? But if you pay them more, that kid don't gotta do that no more. It's that simple. Like sometimes we think some of these problems are rocket science, and I'm like, it's just so simple.
Yeah.
You know, it comes down to the money at the ending of the day because that's what they do it for, right?
Yep, exactly.
What happens in a lot of these countries is that these people do these things to go on a like a check to check, you know, like to make ends meet. Yeah. But if they get that educational standpoint, it's like, let me make this a corporation, you know, like in our countries, like in DR, they produce so many things, but they don't really export them. You know,
They
like
just keep it in the community,
right.
probably, right?
That's one of the like DR is that type of company, but in Colombia, on the other hand, they have this coffee federation list. That's like their gold. You know, so different countries function in different ways.
Is that their main export?
Yeah,
Coffee?
Definitely, yeah. Coffee. They even have a whole coffee federation.
Oh wow!
Like there was this one guy I wanted to order coffee from. I loved his farm. I loved his story. And homie was hitting me with a $40,000 bill, and I was just like, "Excuse-moi."
Wait, $40,000 for what? To
for the
buy
coffee.
his coffee?
Right? Because in the sense, so coffee works off of volumes, right? So it's like anything else. So the more you buy, the better price you'll get. So I had to reach out a price of $40,000 to get a reasonable price for me to sell this coffee.
To be economically,
Right.
it makes sense for you,
Right.
right?
To even function or operate.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically I gave this man this proposal, and he was just like, what are you doing? Like, it's just, you're doing too much. It's going to drive down profits. It's going to cost too much to operate. And I was just like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it is what it is. It's my proposal, right? And he was just like, you know what? Good luck, man. Good luck with your studies. Like, you do your thing. I was like, all right. In my head, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show mans what's up. I was like, all right, boom. So that was in December, right? So I worked on it, and then the spring semester started. In my marketing class, my professor was like, listen, you could pick something that's already been done, like a BMW, whatever, all of these things, or Porsche. Any company that, has a product, you could pick it, or you could make a fake product, or you could work on something that's real. And I had a team. It was 4 of us. I picked them out, and I was like, hey, guys, I set them down. Listen, y'all got any ideas? You got any ideas? You got any? Nobody had an idea. I was like, I bet. I plugged in the TV. I pulled out a whole presentation. I was like, this what I got, guys.
My man had the PowerPoint.
Right, I had the PowerPoint.
You had it stashed already.
Right, I had a
Just
stash.
waited.
I was like, all right, this is my idea. This is what I got so far. I had 50% of the stuff done. I was like, listen, this is an advantage for y'all because I got half of it done.
Right.
We didn't even got to do much. So then we did it. We carried it through. We did the whole 9. Next thing you know, we're at presentation day, the last day of class. I'll pop out. We have a whole bandeja, bro. We walking in the class with samples of
Bandeja, some food?
Not with coffee.
Oh, my
with coffee.
Tú tenías hambre, mi amor.
I came here from work. I'm hungry.
Yo, I got you.
Listen, Midtown expansion. All right.
Yo, the dollar
No
pizza still
comiences.
stands.
No
the
comienza
two
with
bros.
your dollar
The two
pizza.
bros.
Yo,
Two
but-
bros.
Oye, tú tienes que ser fina como Serene. Que ella come dollar pizza. You eat dollar pizza?
Sometime for the one time.
Yo, y'all need to stop that Jersey shit.
Jersey.
I'm not from Jersey.
Oh,
I'm
about
from
to say, I'm from
Brooklyn.
Jersey.
son.
You hang out
Brooklyn?
with Serene
From
too much in
BK,
Jersey.
all the way.
Es queso.
Damn, you reminded me of Dominican cheese now.
Dominican cheese, bro. I had some today, too.
Oh, damn, I missed that. I'm going in August. I can't
Chivo?
wait.
Dominican cheese.
Oh,
Chivo.
That too,
Chivo.
man. The whole
Nah,
nine.
I was like, Chivo. Oh,
Stop
shit.
interrupting him, Chico.
All right.
Come
That's
sing
all
in
right.
house.
Listen, we chilling. It's a vibe. So basically, yeah, we did the presentation. We did the whole 9. We pulled out coffee. We actually brewed coffee on the spot.
On the
We
spot?
did a pour over. We gave everybody a cup. He's like, it was 50 people. Everybody got a cup.
Damn.
Where's
bro,
our cup?
Shit. We just
Everybody
gotta make
got
it.
a cup.
We just
Where's
gotta
my
make
We
it.
cup?
just gotta make it.
You said you got wine in yours. You want to swap it right quick?
Nah, I'm good.
Exactly.
Thank you, Carlos.
Exactly. So basically,
Yeah,
we did
slick.
that. We did the whole 9. We actually got first place on the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
Right, we got a $100 Amazon gift card. I was like, yo, Professor, you live. You got money, right? I was like, yo, I got me a little sign.
Oh, no,
Anyways,
right.
right, and then the presentation was so good where some girl was just like, oh my God, are these bags real? Like, can I buy that coffee right now? And she pulled out $20, 20 beans. I was like, say word.
Take the bag.
Right here, that's you.
Quick.
Take care, do your thing, sis. She's like, I'm like, you got a grinder at home? She's, cause this is whole bean. I usually like to sell whole bean. She's like, yeah, I got the whole 9. I'm like, but she tried it and liked it so much that she bought it on the spot. And it's $17.95. She pulled out a 20. I'm like, oh, I'm getting the tip.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm like, I bet.
Now, after you got that $20, did you keep it at that price, or did you? Didn't?
No, I keep it at the same price.
You kept it
It's
at the same
consistent.
price?
So
Okay.
it like the way I priced it, it's like my professor, like we worked on something and it was like, I was like, how do I price this product? And he was like, make a ceiling. Like, go look at the top of the roof and find coffee just like this that's pretty similar. And the highest priced one is the ceiling. Then the lowest priced one is the floor. And then you look at where you're at in between that and what do you offer. And I felt like the ceiling, I passed it a bit.
Damn. So you're like better than Starbucks?
Right. Because it was one of those things where I found coffee for $13, $14, $15, $16. And I was just like, but they don't offer what I got. Like I'm offering something direct on the farm. Like the farmer puts it in the truck, brings it to the airport, and it comes to me to Rochester, New York at the airport. Or
And then
JFK.
you're distributing it right
Right,
there.
and then I bring it to the roastery room at Java's. I'm sponsored by Java's, upstate New York and Rochester.
Awesome.
And we roast it right there, package it, and send it right to you. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, it's direct. It's not like ain't no middleman, ain't no nothing.
There's
here.
not many hands touching the coffee
Right,
before
right,
it
and
gets to your coffee pot.
Right, exactly. And
And
it's
on
one of
Amazon.
Amazon? No, we don't rock with Amazon.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Amazon.
you can't do that. You ever heard of the diapers.com story?
Nah.
Oh, I'm about to hit you right now.
Yeah.
Look up diapers.com.
Yeah.
And diapers.com will pop on the Google search and it'll go directly to Amazon. So diapers.com used to sell diapers on Amazon, right?
Uh-huh.
They started selling so much on Amazon that their business mainly depended on it.
Oh,
Right.
So if they would have left Amazon, they really wouldn't been able to sustain
Right.
the
So
business.
Amazon, what they do is Amazon is data driven. So since the 1990 something, they've been collecting data, and that's why they're so good at it. Do they ever send you an email like, "Hey, you looked at this product. Do you want to buy it?"
Yeah.
Remember that?
all those algorithms are
Yes,
playing. Yeah.
they save all of that, and
Yeah.
that's how they've been able to get so big and so good.
That's great.
Back in the day, they used to sell books,
Yeah.
and they used
I
to
remember.
you used
I
to
remember.
buy one book,
Yeah.
and they used to be like, "Hey, you like that book?
This is
Bought
a
it.
similar one, right?
This is a similar one right here,"
Yeah.
and that's how they got people.
Algorithm.
And that's how they've been
20%
growing.
off.
What a
Exactly.
scam.
And that's how they've been growing. So that's one of those things, diapers.com, they used to sell so much and they used to do direct ship. So that wherever they used to make it get it from, they used to send it directly to Amazon. It's called drop shipping. Instead of producing it here, you getting it and then you sending it, whatever order the customer has, you just send it directly from where they make it, right? That's something you could do from the farm, but from a farm it would be too complicated.
Yeah.
Imagine sending a bag like this from Colombia. Like,
Yeah. It's going to cost more probably too.
Right, absolutely, way more.
Yeah.
So Amazon figured it all out, figured out all the
damn.
metrics, and you know what they did? They created a competitor, threw it right on the
Wow.
website, and knocked them off the market. And
You
you know
said-
what they did when they were about to go bankrupt? They bought them out and then dismantled it. Like they just dismantled
They
it
just disappeared it.
straight up.
Thanos.
Damn. Now that was.
Thanos, yeah.
Eso fue, lo dejaron con el culo cagao.
Like, right.
For real. When
Right.
he said diapers, I'm like, this is going to be a shitty story.
But yeah, it's crazy. Like you would never think something like that would go down, right? But
Yeah, but it
that's how
happens.
grimy it is. You know,
Yeah,
it's
you're right.
It's that type of thing.
So pretty much you're making sure that your company, what you're creating right now, is self-sustainable, that it
Right.
doesn't depend upon an Amazon.com type of thing.
Right. Yeah,
That's what's up.
It's one of those things. 'Cause it's just like to be honest, my biggest dream, like when I tell you like, oh, I'm successful and I'm chilling, like literally chilling.
Yeah.
Like if I make something similar to Whole Foods, because I'm all about like once I came back from DR and like I learned about all of these, modifying organisms stuff like that, and pesticides and herbicides and all these chemicals. I was just like, yo, like I want to eat clean, like I want to take care of my body. You know what I'm saying? Like the number one thing you got in this world is you.
Yep.
Because if you ain't got yourself, you ain't got nothing. Like it's done
Exactly.
for. And we want to maximize our time on this earth, right?
Yeah.
We only
Of
get
course.
one spin. So it was one of those things like, you know what? I want to eat clean. I want to eat organic. Let me take care of myself.
Health is wealth,
Right,
man.
health is wealth. So it's one of those things where I grew up in Fordham, but now I live by like Allerton and around there on the 2 line, and it's just like,
around there.
right.
By
and-
Dunhill.
oh, you right there.
Yeah, neighbors,
It's my cousin. So it's one of those things where it's just like, in my community, I try to do that, but you ain't getting none of that. It's a food desert. You know what I'm saying? You got the KFC, you got the Aqui. You know what I'm
Kennedy
saying?
Fried Chicken.
Right.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
ain't got
that
these.
trash
It's the
shit.
worst,
Right.
man.
Starbucks hit Fordham. I was like, yeah, we getting gentrified.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
Yes,
it was
it's crazy.
over. So it's one of those things like I ain't have that access. So my main goal in life is just like, yo, like if I can make a supermarket that provides those kind of foods, organic, natural stuff like that, and we could put it in the hood and make it affordable, like boom.
So you think Whole Foods? You think Whole Foods is doing the right thing right now? The way they're presenting all the type of foods they're selling.
I feel like I buy at Whole Foods, I buy at Trader Joe's and stuff like that. But I feel like after Amazon acquired it, I feel like it hasn't been the same. You know, because Amazon is like profit driven all the way. Once a company gets on the stock market, they just care about meeting these quarters. You know what I mean? They got 4 quarters and they got to maximize how much money they make so they could keep up with that stock price.
They have investors to respond to
Right.
now.
You know, and it's one of those things where like they just maximize. They got, like you said, somebody to
Shareholders.
Right. They got somebody to report to.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and if
yeah.
everybody sells their share, like it's clipped.
No, and at the end of the day, what shareholders want to see is that the company's making money
Right.
because they want their stocks to go up.
To
You
go
know,
up.
their investments to
That's
go
a
up.
fact.
That's a fact.
It's
Well,
funny.
if let's say so, let's fast forward 10 years from now, and Carvajal Coffee, right? Because we even haven't set the name of the coffee.
So it's Don Carvajal.
Don Carvajal, right?
So this guy right here, this is actually my grandfather.
That is.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So that's basically my grandfather. So
that's deep.
There's a
man.
picture of you on the gram with the hat, with the
Yeah,
sombrero
yeah,
on.
yeah,
I thought that was dope.
yeah. So
Which looks like that.
right.
That's awesome, man.
So this picture's from the 80s. He passed when I was like 1 year old, which was
Okay.
like 1997 or something like that. And it was one of those things where I was just like, listen, if I'm giving something to somebody, like, how do I make them trust the product? You know what I mean? Like, listen, I was born in DR. I was born in the campo, metido pa allá. Like, you know what I'm saying? The whole nine.
How old
like,
were you when you came here to the
8 years
States?
old. 8 years old, right? But I always go back and try to, stay connected with my roots and
course.
stuff.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I was like, if you're gonna trust this product, like how to make it trusted? I'm like, listen, I come from a family of farmers. Like we does this, you know what I mean? Like we've been doing this.
We
That's how-
gets busy.
right? We
how
gets
it is.
busy. Like we've been doing this for generations. Like I'm just the cycle that broke out of it because I was fortunate enough to make it to New York City.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. So it's like bringing that family value into it, and his story. So yeah, we actually morphed that in there.
Nice. That's what's up. So go ahead. Chico.
Would the supermarket be called that?
Probably it depends.
And
so,
just add
right.
Whole Food or whatever?
So the way the way I was
Carvajal Foods. Carvajal Foods.
right. So the way I was looking at it was like, so actually, like just like to skirt off real quick. So when I came to this country, right, I was 8 and I got put into the public school system, right? So it was one of those things where like my full name is Hector Luis Castillo Carvajal, right? That's my full name. Carvajal is my mother's maiden name from my dad, right? When I got here, they was like, son, listen, your name too long. We don't do this in America.
It don't fit in the transcript.
It don't fit in the transcript, right?
The Scantron,
but
the
the
Scantron doesn't have enough space for all those last names.
Right, like
you,
the
mama.
board of ed don't do this, right? So it was just like, listen, son, your name is Hector Castillo, and I'm like, okay, like, all right, cool. And it was just that, like, I was at this conference in Texas yesterday, and some girl named Samantha Torres, she was saying that the United States practices assimilation rather than integration, like accepting your culture and putting you in there and like making it inclusive, right? And it was one of those things where I was just like, damn, like that's a good point. Like you come here, right? And it's just like, we're not really being taken into consideration at some point. Like it's just like y'all come here, y'all gotta do what we say.
Es a la mala que tú tienes que comer McDonald's porque
Right.
ya los
Quería Nueva
plátanos.
York. Coge Nueva
Coge
York.
Nueva
Right,
York.
right.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things. But yeah, so I was just like, when I got to like, when I was graduating high school, 2016, because I was a high school dropout at some point, you know, I went to DR and all of that. So then I started college late in 2016. And that's when I really
Wait,
had
what do you mean you started college late?
late in the sense of the American timeline.
There you go.
Right.
time, yeah.
Yeah,
So I was supposed to graduate in
I
2014.
like how Carlos be checking some of the
Nah, that's
best,
how it be.
you know what
So-
I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because you know what it is? Just to deviate a little bit.
Preach, Carlos.
Man, I feel like
Hit 'em.
we get all these fucking standards put on us
Oh,
like
man,
that
talk about
we really don't have to live by. It's just
Right.
shit people throw out there. You know, you make your own pathway.
Right.
You take your time to bring those supermarkets, and maybe one day you do go public with that company.
Right.
but there's no timeline. That could be tomorrow. That could be in 20 years. So I don't think you started school late.
Absolutely.
I think you started on time.
Right,
At the right
exactly.
time.
That's one of
Maybe
those things.
you weren't gonna be ready if you would have left high school. You weren't mature enough. You would have party away. You would have started doing a lot of cocaine.
Yeah.
Cocaine. What is going on with the cocaine?
Chill.
No more cocaine.
Mira que excited se
people.
puso.
No more
Servita
cocaine.
excited.
You excited
Ay,
over there, man?
Dios mío.
What's
We
going
do
on
not,
here?
We do not do cocaine.
We do not endorse that.
We
We're
don't
not doing
endorse
that.
it. We
We
don't
from
do it.
uptown.
None of
You know what I'm
that.
saying? We classy over here.
Now we classy. It's a joke. People.
We hood
Carlos,
classy.
I was with you.
We hood classy because the real
I'm
classy
sorry.
do that
Yo,
thing.
I'm so with you. I'm so with
It
you.
was just a joke.
Right, but it's one of those things. Like people ask me,
Yeah.
like, would you trade? Like, would you want to be on a regular time? Like, would you trade your experience? I'm like, hell no. Like, shit, I'll be sitting in certain spaces and I just
It
be
made
talking,
you.
and people be like, damn, like you on point, homie. I'm like, listen,
what's up.
it's life experience. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, I don't mind. I have friends who are 31 in their junior year of college, and it's cool. You're like, you doing your thing, homie. If you trying to finish it, you're gonna do whatever. You're gonna graduate. You're gonna make that bread. You know, so it is what it is.
And you're already. By the way, if you're doing that, you're already doing what a lot of people don't have the balls to do.
Right.
Because some people be like, oh, it's too late. I ain't
Right.
going back.
Right.
Or not even, it doesn't have to be college. It could be starting a business. It could be writing a song and releasing the song. Just doing things that people say they're going to do but never do. If you're doing it, you're already in a different league.
Right.
That's a fact.
So congratulations, my brother.
Thank
That's
you,
a
thank
fact,
you.
bro.
I remember one thing.
Congrats.
I heard this story, and it was about the KFC owner. And apparently, I don't know. He like tried to be an entrepreneur his whole life, and then KFC popped off when he was 60.
Oh, yeah.
I heard
Wow.
that.
60?
And
Yeah,
yeah,
he
60
was
years
60,
old.
yeah.
No wonder the KFC guy is old Will with
Right,
gray hair.
right. So I heard
Yeah.
that story, and I was just like, wow, like that really goes to show, like no matter what, if you really keep on trying, something's gonna pop off. Hopefully, it's not 60, but it's one of those things.
And again, and you know what's crazy, man? I think you're doing something dope because we spoke earlier on the phone, and what a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people are getting to know, is that Hector Coffee Company also has another side to it, a side where you help out small children's, right?
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the nonprofit
I got you.
you organized and you working on.
So basically, it's interesting because the nonprofit started first, right? So,
wow.
so
that's
last summer, I've always wanted to give back. Like I've always been like, damn, like I honestly, like I'll keep it a bucket true. Like I've always felt like, oh, like not to sound like any type of like dick or anything, but I'm just like, yo, I feel like the golden child. Like out of all the kids in my town, bro, like ain't nobody really make it out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody back there still doing the same thing, ain't really getting further or anything like that. So I'm just like, damn, like I really made it out here. Like I'm in New York City. Listen.
Wait. Time out.
It cannot be.
Hector,
it cannot be double A over there.
Let me tell you
Double A. Team Dominican. ¿Qué es lo que está pasando?
Wow.
No wonder we was hearing that buzz before.
Yo.
No wonder we was hearing that buzz.
Really?
You funny.
Can't even trust them no more.
Right.
Can't trust.
We apologize
Yeah,
on behalf of team.
It's all
Yo,
right. It's all right.
we got a chota here. He was recording for the feds. Bro.
Oh,
the
yo.
cocaine.
Yo, we,
No way. Damn, we thought
ain't
we
no
was
way. I
family.
trust
yo, Aqui Chillin, this is a joke, people. We about to get indicted, bro.
Right.
Real.
Hector, so the nonprofit, go ahead.
Right. So basically, I began that first. Right. I've always felt like, I was just like, I'm so fortunate. Like I'm very lucky. I came here on a permanent residency on a green card. And I was just like, listen, a lot of people don't have that luxury. A lot of people come here on a visa, which I'll get to later too, and they overstay their visa. Whether it's a student, a visitor, or employment visa and stuff like that. So I was fortunate enough to come here on a green card. Right. Basically, I was just like, damn, like these kids really, really go through it. I remember I was over there when I was 16, 17, around there, and I saw this one kid, and he was just like fishing by the river, and like I went up like to my family's farm, and then I came back like 4 hours later, and the kid was still there, and I'm just like, hey, like, what you doing? He's by himself. I'm like, yo, what you doing? He's like, oh, I gotta catch these fish. I'm like, what? Like, why? Like, why do you just like fish? He's like, nah, bro. Like, listen, half of it I eat and half of it I sell. Because if it ain't for that, I ain't gonna be eating. You know what I mean? And I was just like, damn,
How
like,
old
He was doing that of
he?
necessity.
right. And it's
How
just
old
like,
was the kid?
he was young, like probably like 14, 13,
Wow.
around there. Like, DR kids be hustlers.
Now they
Yeah.
hustling.
Yeah,
Like, they
there's
be
no
young
other,
and
there's no other
hustlers.
choice. You have to.
Right, you gotta figure
I
it out.
remember even here when I came here from DR, I would like steal my brother's little Hot Wheel cars and little Pokemon cards and stuff. I used to flip them in school. Gotta get my money.
Right?
Yeah, para que no venga chico to come and talk about my chapeadora. Since I was little making my money, you already know.
No dollar pizza over here.
Dominicans
Right.
stay hustling.
Shit.
Facts,
Well, I was a
facts.
female. know, and look like you, I'll be chapeando.
Trust me, I know.
That's funny. Damn.
So the kid was
so he
fishing.
was-
Right, so it was just those kind of things. I saw kids like I'm like, yo, but why are you walking like barefoot, bro? Like it's dangerous out here. There's glass on the floor. And there's one of like you would never see that in New York. I mean, unless they,
Unless they're in the subway. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
and doing
You do see a
Unless
lot of
guy-
things
yeah,
on the
off the
subway.
K2 or something, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things.
Wait,
and
the case.
you know how it be up in the Bronx, right? Oh, you from Brooklyn? Oh, Brooklyn got it too.
Brooklyn got it too.
Brooklyn got it.
So it was one of those things, and like I went to school there, for I would say 3 grades. You start at like 5 years old in DR or something like that. So I went to school there. And it was always one of those things where I was just like, yo, these kids really go through it, and some of them don't really have the resources. And I was just like, I always want to give back. And I always felt like you had to be like Bill Gates. Like, you got to have that Billy. You got to have that money. Like, your money got to be long for you to do something. And I was just like, damn, why like the people in our communities like admire all of these basketball players and football players and people who got money. You know what I mean? Like, people who got money are always the ones to make a change. And they just do it for a photo op. They do their thing. They go to Africa, take a picture, come back, never again.
Tax returns.
Right. Tax returns. It's all day. So I was just like, you know what? I live in New York City. There's so many resources. This is one of the wealthiest cities in the world. And I was just like, you know what? Crowdfunding. I'm like, I know so many people,
Ooh,
right?
nice.
I know so many people. I go to college. There's people in my college. I have professors. I have mentors. I have family. I have friends. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to put this mission together, and I'm going to ask everyone that I know to support me in helping these kids.
Through crowdfunding.
Right, through crowdfunding. I'm like, you know what? You're helping me, true. Like, you're helping me with the mission I'm doing, but you're not helping me. You're helping that kid right there.
Exactly.
Right, like you helping Juancito over there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Pablito
right,
over there.
Pablito. Exactly. So it was one of those things, and then I began it, made a GoFundMe because I didn't have like a perfect platform yet. And then we just got it off. We did a 10 for 10 at my school at the University of Rochester. We did like a school supply drive. Yo, we got mad supplies. Like,
That's
I'm telling you, like
dope.
20 book bags. I don't know, like 50 notebooks. I'm talking about pens for days. I don't know, bro. We're gonna need like 4, 5 cajas, bro. Like, we're gonna need like, tía, busca el tanque. Like, so it was one of those things, and I was just like, wow, like people really rock with the mission, So in August. I'm going August 9th to DR, and like August 20th, we're going to hand it out. So first, we're going to make like a customized package for the honor roll kids. In DR is one of those things where like, ain't no such thing as a honor roll ceremony or anything like that. Like, these kids, like, if you get honor roll in DR, like, that's real. Like, if you're going through all that struggle and you getting that, like, you put in some work.
Yeah.
Like the College Board, I'm an intern at the College Board right now for SAT business applications, and they have something called the adversity score. So when you go to college, if you live in like the South Bronx where there's like shootings once a week and, your neighbor probably died, or, you live in a socioeconomic status, they factor that into your score.
Interesting. Really?
Right. So it's one of those things where it's
So
like,
wait, so to understand that better, so you're saying that depending on where you live, right? They factor that into your score in what sense? Meaning that if you get an 80, they'll bump you up, or they'll bump you down, or
it's just in the sense that you may have a certain score in that test, but they also factor in your environmental metrics. So what are some of the things that go on in your community? What kind of socioeconomic status do you have? You know what I'm saying? If you're living in a household with a single mother who makes $20,000 a year and she spends, I don't know, $15,000 on rent, she got $5,000 to do her thing.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where they factor all of that in, because if you live in Long Island, for example, Great Neck, which is one of the highest property taxes in New York State, these, the doctors live there.
yeah. And these kids are not worrying about what someone in the South Bronx is probably worrying about.
Right, so it's one of those things. These kids live there. They got doctors, they got business owners who live there, so that they pay high property tax on these properties, which means their high schools get highly funded, and they got all types of extracurriculars and everything they need. Right, so it's one of those things where these kids get private tutors. They have extra hours at school. They have extracurricular experiences. They could put something on their resume. With kids in the hood,
They don't have metal detectors.
right.
They don't got. That's a fact.
We're gonna get into that too. We need a list. Somebody write it down.
we need a board so we can park topics.
Right.
And go back to
it's
it.
just like,
It's
wow.
crazy.
Yeah, my
a
high
lot of
school was
things.
pretty bad. So it's one of those things where they factor all of that in. It's a different kind of metric. It's pretty tricky because I'm still learning about it.
It's cool, yeah.
But
yeah.
that's
but
pretty
that's interesting to know, though. I had no clue that was
Right.
something that was in
And they actually
consideration.
have fee waivers too. So like kids, who come from impoverished backgrounds, they have fee waivers. And they have now they have something called the PSAT, which you can take, and it's like a practice exam pretty much. And based on your scores, they tailor your learning program with Khan Academy, which is totally free for kids to access college and here and stuff like that.
Khan
So
Academy
that's
is
pretty dope.
That's dope.
You know, I even use that. You know what I'm saying?
I've
Like
used
you
it
learn
before,
it,
yeah.
right? Like counting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they
It's
have
just
a
like
lot of good
why
stuff.
not? So yeah, and it's one of those things where I was just thinking like, wow, like these kids in the DR, like if they get on the honor roll, like you're really putting in work. Imagine the adversity some kids face here in the Bronx or Brooklyn or Queens. Imagine in DR where it's a developing country. I don't like to
Different
say a
world.
third world country, but yeah. So basically, it's 20 kids who are on the honor roll, and we're gonna get them a really good package. We're gonna give them a little something, a book bag with everything they need for the rest of the school year.
Beautiful.
Then we're gonna come back the next year, do the same thing. But it's one of those things like if you acknowledge the kids who are doing great, because in DR it's not. You're not gonna benefit from that at the moment.
Yeah.
You're not as gratified. I forgot what delayed gratification is one of those things. Like you don't see that right now. Like
I was
not
going
even
to
here.
ask because growing up with my parents, I'm like, I was never like, good job.
Right,
Like, you know, I would
exactly.
bring my
Correct.
exam, I
Exactly.
would get like a 98 or a 100.
Right.
I'm like, mommy, look at my exam. She's like, yo, like, you
My
doing
mom-
that for
you know,
yourself.
you
Right,
know
my
what
mom
I'm
didn't
about.
even understand. She's like,
yeah. So I was like,
what is that? Like, she couldn't know how to-
Like, are they doing that?
Right,
in
she ain't know how to
DR
measure that.
schools now,
right.
or-
I mean, I don't know if they're doing that, but this
Yeah.
is something I just want to do. You know.
And then again, because you know, I know the organization, the foundation is not that large yet, right? But your
No.
goal is to bring it to a certain level.
Right.
So I know you focus your efforts in a certain city or town in
Right,
DR.
right.
Can you talk a little bit
So
more about the
basically,
town?
so I focus it on the town that I'm from, and this is one of those things where like I
Where's
believe
that
that in Bani, Las Bahías Bani.
Oh, shit, I'm from Bani too, bro.
Say words, man.
30 de mayo.
We about to send them back to school, so send them back to
we got the drop out here.
Right, it's lit. But yeah, it's one of those. So basically, I'm one of
That's
those.
what's up, man.
So it's one of those things where like I feel like people love to do so much. Like I know people who do, you know, no offense to y'all or like not to knock y'all hustle,
Yeah.
but I see a lot of people who do a lot of mission trips. You know, Costa Rica and like. You know, like Africa's going through it, you know, and
Yeah.
people go to Africa,
Yeah.
but like I feel like people forget about their own communities.
They
You know
do.
what I'm saying?
They
Like we
really
really
do.
here,
They really do,
you
man.
know, and people love to travel to Europe and all these things. I'm like, bro, like travel to your country, you know, better your economy, give back to your own people, and it's one of those things. So basically, I began it in my own town. And I'm actually helping the school that I went to.
Nice.
And my math teacher is actually the principal now, so it's mad funny. I'm like,
wow.
hey, like we're
Hey.
collaborating on this thing.
That's dope.
So I'm basically helping out those kids. There's 188 kids right now. And we're just trying to help those kids all out. Their mission for 2020 is to build them a computer center. So right now we're just giving them school supplies, but they have an IT teacher, but they have no IT center. So they have no type of technology knowledge.
don't have a
at
computer?
all. No.
Oh, we gotta raise money for a computer.
Right.
Right.
Like these kids, they're living in the past. Like imagine going to a job right now talking about, I don't know how to use Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
Damn,
Like as
dude.
simple as that. Or like,
Yo, team.
Like I don't know how to
just
log
We're
into
gonna
a
have to
computer.
post this
something.
on the Team Dominican page, and we're gonna have to raise some funds
We're
for
gonna
this,
raise-
bro.
We know
Let's
you're
word
the
up.
boss.
So it's one of those things where it's just like, wow, like that was the basic thing here.
That's what's
Damn.
up.
It's like the bare minimum, and they don't even got the bare minimum over there. You know,
Yeah.
so
And they're still they go to school, they
Right.
try to learn.
Right.
And you also got to give props to the teachers out there, man,
Crazy.
because they're trying to develop these kids and teach them what they need to teach them under those circumstances.
Right.
Yep.
Because I'm sure they don't even have all the resources
Right.
that
And
they
a lot
need.
of them even producing themselves those good teachers.
Right,
You will
right.
see amazing teachers like go ahead and provide from their own pockets.
Yeah.
because-
Yeah.
And they don't make much either.
Yeah.
no, not at all. It's crazy. It's the same situation with the cops. There's so much
That same- yep,
corruption.
a lot of
you know what I
corruption
mean?
because
Like,
That's
of
why a
that.
lot of corruption is happening because the
Right.
cops don't make enough money, so
Not
they
at
need
all.
to supplement some
Right.
other way, you know?
Yeah, it's
Which
crazy.
is sad, but
It's sad.
that's the situation.
right.
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great. I'm chilling.
Put that chilling.
That's why I'm buzzing.
No hay un
bro.
coffee maker aquí.
Para la
You know
la
what's funny?
próxima,
I was so gonna bring one. Like I was gonna bring
una greca.
Yo, imagine
Una
With-
greca
with
de
the
la
beer.
old school.
Greca.
Yeah. ¿Tú te imaginas la grequita?
The
That's
sock.
like a
Remember the
yoso.
sock shit? Have you ever seen the sock? The old school method?
I've seen, yeah.
My
the
call it la-
grandma
la-
still
I call
has
it-
un
it.
colador.
sock.
El
Yeah,
colador.
colador. I
Grandma
call it
has it.
la media vieja.
La media panty.
Right? Because after you use it a few times, it looks like an old sock, bro.
Yeah,
It's like, yo.
that's a fact.
Yeah.
Bro, so I see you had... Yo, this, matter of
Yo,
fact, this is the
los-
connect right here.
The plug. Really,
Lo-
I'm the plug.
He's
No
really
Oye,
future.
él no
Look.
está desesperado para llevarse eso.
Muchacho, yo cuando llegue a la casa, voy
Él
a...
no sabe si es para display o para
Right,
llevarse.
right. So that's what I was telling you earlier. Like,
So what is this right here?
this is from the Dominican Republic. So I'm really big on building community. Like, this is my friend from college. Like, the one taking pictures right here, his name is Mike Chung. He does photography and stuff like that. I'm all about keeping it within the community. I got a friend in the Heights. His name is Harry Montes. He does all the video content. He shoots a documentary with the kids in the art, and that's how we're able to get you a picture of, like, look, these are the kids that you're helping.
That's how you're supposed to do it, man.
Right.
Dope. You got the team.
Right. My friend who's an editor for the website, you know, we're in the same scholarship program. Like, I try to keep that sense of community. People love to outsource everything. People love to listen to rappers they ain't never met, but they friend trying to get on.
Yeah, and they don't support.
Right. Support your community.
Let's
keep
talk
it
about
in the
that.
community.
Don't support your community.
You know what? We're going to pause it.
Don't support your community. I
Hit 'em.
posted a picture of Chico. He stayed nude, so I got blocked on Instagram. Don't support your community.
Whoa. That's cold.
It was a pic with no shirt.
Ponte ropa, mi hermano, if you want me to support you.
Y cuando tú estás en la
Support
playa.
with your community when they know
Dime.
how to provide the right content.
You know, you know that's weird. Like let's say you go outside, right? Y tú caminas en bikini. Everybody's like, oh my
It's
God.
lit.
Pero si tú estás en la playa, it's
No,
whatever,
That
right?
is so true.
That's so
true.
interesting.
It's
I
right.
always try to
It's
figure the
right.
difference
It's like-
behind
I
it.
¿Qué está
think,
pasando?
and I
Like
think
you-
the same way. It's so
That's true.
You know
But
what I'm saying?
you know what goes into that? Code switching. Different environments. Different
It
environments
is.
are appropriate for certain things, and it's crazy.
Como
I
dicen.
was raised like that, so even myself, I find myself in that box. Like there's certain things that I'm like, oh no.
And
what
again,
the hell?
that's a society thing.
Yeah,
They
that's a
make that.
society
Like,
thing.
oh no, you
Yeah.
can't do that in the streets.
Yeah,
So
bro.
tú quieres ser un cuero
take your shirt
malo
off
y
whenever you
quieres-
want.
y
Nah,
quieres
nah.
ser
Go to
libre.
Europe, bro.
Nah,
They
but
do
it's-
a march fully naked,
Yeah.
chilling.
No,
But
but
going back to that, like you as an entrepreneur, hay mucha gente that they know you, like growing up and stuff like that, y ellos prefieren ir a Starbucks
Right.
y no comprarte tu café,
tu
bro.
café. ¿Por qué? Yo no
And your
entiendo.
shit is better.
You know what happens?
¿Qué tú piensas de eso? What are your thoughts?
Yo pienso que la gente se emocionan con, how do you say it? How would I put it? People love to be associated with things, right? Remember when Uber came out? And there was a song like Uber Everywhere.
Yep.
And you know what people did? Post Uber Everywhere. Because people love to ride the wave.
It's the way.
Starbucks.
Bandwagons.
Oh, I got a Starbucks Golden Card. Oh, I'm part of the club. Like, no, dumbass, you spent $300 to get that.
Yeah, they got you.
They got you.
They got you. That's a fact.
That's what it is. Now they got Uber Gold. They
Damn.
got you.
Yeah.
It's a sense of
They're putting Uber helicopter ride now in New
No.
York for
Crazy.
membership, $200,
Crazy.
$300.
Crazy.
15-minute ride like across New. You seen it?
They got
I've
him.
seen that. Crazy.
To the airport too?
Oh yeah, from the airport to the airport to JFK.
What?
15-minute
What?
helicopter ride.
You gonna be in there?
That's crazy.
Nah.
Now, you know that fucks up the fake it till you make it. Right now, everybody gonna be like, "Yo, my own helicopter."
No way, no.
They're gonna be the Bow Wow challenge. The
No.
Bow Wow.
Please,
Bro,
stop
in
it.
Russia, they have a fake scene. It's a fake airplane. And they have a real one too, so it's different levels, right?
Yeah.
And the levels of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, and you rent it for a photo shoot, son.
Nah.
And they have the walls
Un private
outside
plane,
that look like
Stop
clouds, son.
That's sick,
Bro.
man.
No.
Bro, look it up.
Is
Fake-
it like
fake
an
news.
amusement type of thing?
Fronteando, bro.
Or
Huh?
is it like a amusement type of? Is it like a pop art
no,
museum?
it's like a rental space. Like you just pull. It's like a photography studio.
yeah,
where
like
you
a pop up museum. So,
I
it's
guess.
different. They ain't faking it. They just
Please
taking
don't book
picture,
a studio session there.
First of all, there's
Yo
the
sé que tú
difference
quieres-
between espérate, because I
Ay.
wanted some clarification. Because you know sometimes we might judge things and not
Right.
understand them. That's why I asked: is it like a photo shoot type of thing? Because if it is, I'm in there. I'm in anything.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, I
Tú
need
te
to
vas a
take
una
a.
foto
I mean,
ahí.
when I read the article,
I gotta promote Aqui Chillin or no?
right. When I
So that's why I was like, wait, what type of scene is this? Because it sounds interesting.
listen, I'm all about transparency, so I'll keep it a buck with you. When I read it, what they steered the article for was like, oh, people use this space to front. That's
Okay.
the article that I read.
Yeah.
And that's how the article was steered.
Okay,
You know, that's a lot of things.
That's
In
more
journalism, too, they
Chico's
steer things in
status
certain
then.
ways.
Yo, but they charge people too for that. bro.
Right.
Oh, never mind.
got
That's
'em.
not your status.
That's not my status.
It's clip. It's
I was like, yo,
clip.
¿cuánto es? Oh.
Vengo
Yo, I'll
ahora.
be back.
Right.
Vengo
I'll
ahora.
be back. I gotta go get my car.
That's crazy. But yeah, I don't know, man. People just don't like to apoyar a la gente que está en su comunidad.
Right.
Y
Porque
envidia también.
eso te iba a decir,
Yo,
that's where I
that's
wanted to
crazy.
go, bro. Porque
You
a
know, in the
veces,
they'd be like, mal de ojo.
Mal
no,
lejos.
Where's
pero-
your red ribbon?
y eso existe porque mira, a veces la gente que está alrededor de ti ellos mismos tienen sus planes también. They
Right,
have their
right,
own
right,
goals.
right.
But when they're not able to execute their own goals and they see you doing your thing, they're like, fuck, se me fue adelante el tigre.
Right.
Déjame mejor irme para este lado y no apoyarlo a ver si lo alcanzo type shit.
Right.
But it shouldn't be like that because you could easily make it and maybe help someone.
Right.
You know? But in that case...
we all got room to make it. Absolutely.
Yeah, but check this out. Once Hector does make it and has his own supermarket, we're going to throw it in the air because we want that for you.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? When you do make it, right? La gente que nunca te apoyó and you're not going to waste your time with them.
Right.
Then they're going to be like, damn, Hector, you changed, B.
Yo,
El dinero te cambió.
It's one of those things where, like, right now, like I'm all about giving back and like mentoring students. So, like some of the kids from DR, like I talk to them on Facebook, try to guide them. Kids from my high school, I went to transfer high school since I dropped out. I went back. Yo, you know Junior? You know Kevin Alvarez? The kid that dragged them out the store. That kid went to my high school. That kid went to my high school, son.
Junior?
Yes, bro. Shit had me fucked up.
Crazy.
So
you were gonna say a shout out to someone. Damn.
No, Junior. Yeah. So we know. Yeah, he was.
Rest in peace to my young man. Yeah, that was crazy.
He went to your school?
No, the kid that dragged them out the store went to my high school.
Oh, the kid.
The one that's copping the plea right now.
That's sick, bro.
Like they gonna let mans walk if he snitches on everybody. Like, what do you think about that?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Honestly, I wish him the best. I know it's crazy to sound, but like, you know, we all make mistakes in life, and I'm no one to judge. You know what I mean? Like that. I think it's crazy what happened.
That's a crazy
I don't know what
situation.
that
I couldn't believe my
life
eyes.
is or what he went through
I'm judging
at that moment.
You know
I
what
don't
it
wish.
is?
You know what? I don't wish them
Yeah,
bad.
that's another thing about
I've
him,
been
though.
through
You're
bad,
right.
and even the people that done bad on me, I don't wish you bad. That's just not in my soul to do.
I think the way the district attorney approached him was like, listen, you dragged him out the store, but you ain't put one hand on him after that. Like the kids really went savage mode on him.
Yeah.
But he just dragged him out the store. I mean, that was the initial that brought him out to his death.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for him,
Exactly.
that whole thing could have been avoided.
Exactly.
So I feel like he could have been the one that initiated.
Right.
That.
I think they took his soft spot and they was like, listen, you ain't really do much.
They just want the confessions.
Right.
That's
They
what
was
it
like,
is.
homie, if you confess, we're gonna let
They're
you
like,
rock.
if we could put 10 of these dudes in jail, you know, we could let one walk. Type.
Right.
Yo, actually, have you guys seen the Netflix show with
Oh my God, when they see
this
us.
is when they see us?
You told me
The
about it. I
Central
started
Park 5,
watching
you
it.
know?
I couldn't do
No,
it.
okay, you got to watch that.
No,
We're not even
I
gonna
know
talk
everything about the Central Park
Yeah,
5.
but watch the way they did this documentary. Dude, because they got the real guys to like
Talk.
not to talk, but to give details. And at the end, they show them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's 4 episodes, and Team
Oh, it's just 4
Yo,
episodes?
bro,
That's cool.
Yo, that shit makes you want to cry.
I started watching it
That's
because you
crazy.
told me about it, and I kept like pausing it because just watching the way they interrogated those
was
young men,
nasty,
like 14,
Yo,
15.
that
And
was
obviously,
crazy.
these kids did not do nothing compared to what these other guys did, which is Junior, you know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, just looking at the justice system, the way it works and the way they manipulate things
Right.
to
Yeah.
get their way, you know. So it's crazy, man. But I recommend that series. It's pretty dope.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
pretty dope.
it's crazy. So it's just and I love that we talking about all these things. Like I want to talk about everything right now. I have so many
Everything,
things I want to talk
We
about.
chilling.
This is
Chilling.
straight
We
chilling
have no
vibes.
agenda. Esto es
Right.
así.
So if you're looking and you like, yo, they keep on skirting the topic. Like, nah, this is what we do.
This is what we
That's
do.
what we do. All right?
And if we want to come back, we come back.
Right.
That's what we do.
Right. Fuck out of here. Man, fuck you talking about?
Yeah, you guys getting gangsta, man. I'm getting scared over here. Like, hold on, wait a minute.
Nah.
Oh man.
We good over here. We good.
So now let me ask
so.
you. Let me ask
Yes,
you this
sir.
question. Tu café. ¿Tú lo bebes negro así, oscuro, o tú lo bebes con leche? ¿Cómo tú te bebes el café?
Negros. Straight
Negro.
¿Con azúcar o sin azúcar?
Nah. Nah. So I feel like
Why?
I feel like my coffee is so effing good that you can just drink it straight.
Ooh.
Very good.
Okay, excuse
My
me.
first batch of coffee
Sing
was
that.
from Costa Rica, right? And that's the batch that I did in my classroom. And the girl tried it, and she was like, yo, I've never had black coffee. I don't even rock with black coffee. I was like, listen, I'm going to give you a black coffee, all right?
You was like,
I was like,
once you go black,
you never go back, baby.
Chico's feeling left
Yo,
out over
no,
here.
no.
It's so good.
I like it black like my ladies.
You feel me?
Oh, exclusive, man. Okay,
So,
it's all about that swirl up
Me
for
gusta el café
Chico.
negro como me gustan las mujeres negras.
Ya tú sabes que lo que.
Ay, Dios mío.
Ay.
Se lo está dando en español y en
Shout out to
inglés.
That's another thing we're going to talk about. I got you right now. So like I was just like, you know what? I'll give you black coffee. This is it. You try it. If you don't like it, I'll pour it up again. I'll give you all the milk and all the sugar you want. everybody tried it. They was like, yo, this is some good shit. It's smooth.
That's what's up.
So it's one of those things where I just drink it black. I don't
Me too. I drink my coffee black. Like that's how I like it.
I'm on a nice low keto diet right now, so I can't even afford the sugar. Like I can't even do sugar.
You on a what?
Keto diet.
Keto diet, ¿qué es?
What?
You guys never. I'm
Nah, I'm just
Definition,
kidding.
please.
Estoy hablando
Use it in a
francés.
sentence.
Yo no sé esa.
I got you right now.
Okay,
I got you right now.
that no don't mean.
I
Give us
got
out
you.
your 60 your elevator pitch real quick. What's the keto
Man.
diet?
All right, so my man Daniel from upstate put me onto this diet, right? So it's basically low carb diet. Or like for me, it gets complicated if you really wanted to. For me, I keep it really simple. I like making things simple. I don't complicate myself. People complicate themselves so much nowadays.
True.
Listen, I eat egg white omelet every morning, broccoli, peppers, cilantro y toda la vaina in the morning, right? Lunch, I eat grilled chicken, steamed broccoli.
Playa.
Very
Dinner,
nice.
I eat bistec
Uf.
con broccoli y tomate y toda la
Chico,
vaina.
you
Hey,
good?
that's it,
Tengo
bro.
hambre.
That's it, bro. In the last 2 weeks, I lost like 15 pounds. I was just like,
Yeah.
God
That's
damn.
dope.
But are
Congrats.
you feeling better?
OD. I'd be walking around like
It's-
I'm the
it's-
man. I'm like,
it's
hey,
true.
okay.
Uno no tiene
You
como
just gotta
esa
eat
vagancia.
clean, bro.
Yeah.
90% of what you do is eating clean.
It's crazy.
Y el
It's crazy
cuerpo
what
I
you
go
do.
to the gym once a week because I just don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
don't.
Pero
Bro,
y cuando tú haces esos cambios, el cuerpo te responde de una vez. Like,
Right.
all of a sudden, your body start like feeling
Right.
better.
Your body loves
you start
you.
walking down the street with your head up
Right.
high. You all of a
looking like a
sudden-
movie scene. You just
Yeah.
looking like Moto from Madagascar. Like, ooh.
For real. Muchacho, that's what's up.
Word.
And we can't be chilling forever. Pero, we're gonna we're about to wrap it up. Not yet, pero we always ask everybody this, right? Where, we want you to send a message out there to the listeners, to the young kids, the young Dominican kids, young Latino kids, los inmigrantes that, that came to this country with their parents. And they have dreams too, man, of doing
Right.
something like you did.
That's
What
a fact,
advice?
I got you.
What advice you give them, or 3 qualities also. I want to hear this too. What advice you will give them, to pursue their dream, and what 3 qualities you think has helped you do the things you're doing
I
right
got you.
now?
If I bounce off on the first one, remind me of the 3 calls.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, don't
So,
worry. It's fine.
I feel like the number one thing for me, like, my mom never gave up on me. Like, my mom put in work. Bro, one day she gave in the apartment. I slept on the floor. Thursday, Friday, I was in Santo Domingo. She was like, give me your passport. Give me your residency, nigga. You're going to go to the campo and you're going to work that. You're going to learn why you went to the United States. And you're going to learn.
Is that when you were jalando cebolla? Like,
Yes,
jalando
jalando
cebolla?
cebolla, bro. She was like, you know what? You're going to learn what hard work is. You're going to learn where we come from, and you're going to learn the opportunities that you have. Like, homie, we don't got that here. Understand? Like, I didn't get it, bro.
Yeah.
Why did she do that?
How
What were
were
you
you?
doing?
Tu sabes, you just start fucking with friends in the streets.
tigueraje en la
El
calle.
tigueraje, you get with your friends.
You
You
was
don't go
with
to
Chico,
school.
huh? He
started-
Right. You start cutting classes. Then your mom get the report card like,
Oh,
yeah, out of
sick.
100 days, he went, maybe 75. I mean, 25 out of 7. It's one of those things. And it's just like, I just wasn't doing good at all.
Gotcha.
So it's one of those things where, like, listen, look at the opportunity you have around you. We have 101 opportunities here. Oh, bro, I'm telling you, everybody could eat.
Yeah.
Everybody could eat. I don't feel like people gotta like go to the extreme and go to the DR and work a farm and
Yeah.
recoger cebolla to
That's
figure out.
recoger
You know what I
cebolla.
mean? Like that. The second part I believe is huge. Community. Like, bro, we gotta keep it in the community. You know what I'm saying? If you look at these Caucasian towns, like they have town halls and shit. Like they all sit down collectively. They vote on new things. Like in Rochester, New York, bro, there's only two Starbucks coffee shops in that city. And you know why?
It's on purpose.
It's
do
on
that,
purpose,
right?
bro. They got a whole coffee federation as a community, and they limit the amount of shops that come in.
Because there's smaller coffee shops, mom and pop shops.
They'll
there.
knock
That's
them out.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Bro, in New York City,
good.
you can't have
Yeah,
Walmart.
supporting
You got to
each
go
other.
outside of the city to get Walmart
Yeah.
because that's a law.
Yeah, because they understand that wherever Walmart goes into, whatever neighborhood it
clipped.
goes into, the mom and pop shops all of a sudden start disappearing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a good point.
So, right. So, access your opportunities. We have 101 opportunities. You want scholarships, bro? They have websites. Connect with people. You meet somebody at a conference, connect with them, send them an email. Hey, just following up. Let's go for lunch. They love lunch. They love
Everybody
coffee.
love lunch.
Yeah, everybody love lunch. You know what I mean? And half the time, not even 99% of the time, they'll pay for you. You know why? Because they're working 9 to 5, making 150K, 200K, $500,000, $1 million.
Yeah.
These people do. They got it like that. So build your community, access your opportunities, and I feel like never give up. You know what I mean? Like no matter what, like always look towards a bigger picture. Like bro, I remember being 16 on the block, just chilling. Like yo, like I'm really like I wasn't the man. Like I was just like the underdog. All my mates just eating. Everybody had the fly trues with the Jordans, and I was
Yeah.
never that kid. I was just like damn, like. everybody getting it but me. You know what I mean? And I was just like, you know what? Everybody got their own timeline, like you were saying.
Exactly.
Everybody got their own timeline.
And I'm sure a lot of those kids that were probably getting it back then, the way they were getting it,
you know what's funny?
Where are they right now?
You know what's funny? Listen, I went to school right here. We're on 38th Street right now. 38th. I went to school on 40th and 6th. We're on 38th and 6th. Yeah. I went to Gummy Community College. And that's where I did my associates. And funny thing is, I walked outside of that school and I seen the kids from that block that were the fly kids, you know what? With a purple suit on working FedEx.
There you go.
Look at that.
And you know, that's the crazy, right? And I'm upstate, you know, doing my thing, and I just started my own business. And I'm just like, damn, like we're really in two different places. Like I'm wearing a suit, you're wearing FedEx. It's that type of thing, you know.
Not
like,
knocking anyone working for FedEx.
not at all.
A decent
Not at
job.
all. Not at all. But I'm just saying because that type of person
Exactly.
was the one to always belittle somebody else.
Exactly.
You know, not knocking nobody. I'm just
Exactly.
speaking because of that person's personality.
Exactly.
That person's personality.
Now, did you have any influences in your life that you would like to share with us that played an important role
definitely.
in the things you're doing today?
Yeah, my father left pretty early in my life. You know, he was like in and out and kind of stuff. But somebody I always looked up to was my brother. He's always been entrepreneurial. He's always been about his business. He's always tried. He was like the KFC guy, like always doing his thing, always trying. And like about a year and a half ago, he got a pop with his company, and I was just like, wow, like no matter what, he always did his thing. No matter what, he used to always be like, yo, you know what? Read this little book. You know, when I used to be in school, he used to be like, yo, here's a little gift for you. You know, he's always try to play that father figure for me, you know?
That's awesome.
So it was one of those things where I was just like, damn, like, I love business. Because I used to see what he used to do. He used to travel everywhere, do these things. And he ain't got it like that, but he used to make the best out of what he had. And I was just like, damn, like, I like that. You know, I like traveling. I like connecting with people. I like selling things. You know, I like measuring myself as success. Like, when, like, you bought some coffee the other day, and I was just like, wow. Like I get an email, and my email said, hey, you have low stock. And I started my inventory at 100. And I was just like, I got 2 bags left of like the light roast, and I was like, that means I sold 98 in the last month. That's 98 times 17.95, and I'm just like, shit, we're getting somewhere, you know. And it's one of those things, and I was like, wow,
there you go. It's
like
moving.
Everybody's measure of success is different, but to me, as soon as somebody buys a bag of these, and I'm just like, wow, my dopamine goes berserk.
And that's
why
why
they believe in your product,
right?
And that's why it's dangerous to compare yourself to people. Compare yourself to other people's success, because we all are on a different timeline.
Exactly.
And a lot of times when you compare your success to others, you become discouraged.
Right.
You're not supposed to be doing that. Work at your own pace. Life is not a race. Life is a marathon. Right. So you got to do your thing at your own pace. Last question, bro, because we can't chill forever.
Hit me.
Plus, team over there got the gun out. So, you know what I'm saying?
He got the Glock.
What message do you give to the younger kids, you know, in the hood? Let's talk about that, because we're from New York City, from the Bronx, the Heights, Brooklyn. Nah, I'm kidding.
¿Y qué te pasó ahí?
I love Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
What message do you give to the younger generation trying to, you know, achieve something?
I feel like, listen, it's okay to have that phase. It's okay to have that, you know, I want to be hood. I want to be on the block. It's cool to, I want to wear the G-Stars with the Jordan. It's cool to have that phase, but don't have it forever. Because you giving all your money to these institutions and these firms that do not care about you.
Facts.
Like I said, do not care about you. They don't care about you. They don't invest in you. They don't invest in the community. Invest in your community. You know what I'm saying? Make a close friendship group. Make sure y'all are successful. If you don't go to school, school is not the only way. Go to trade school. Trade school. If you don't go to trade school, do something with yourself. There's platforms like Khan Academy where you can learn skills.
Word.
Apple itself. Apple gives lessons. Google gives
coding lessons, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Coding, marketing, all of that.
That's crazy.
That's what's
You
up.
could go to
man.
Khan Academy and learn accounting. Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew
You
that.
could learn economics. See, he knows that. Did you know that?
Nah.
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
Like we don't
love
really,
Khan Academy.
we don't really know these resources. You know what I'm
Actually,
saying?
when I was in college, I remember taking calculus.
Oh,
I used to go on
God.
Khan Academy to like look at the
Don't
videos.
remind me about calculus.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
That's
I
like-
thought it was a vibe over here. What's going on with you, boy?
Damn.
I just dropped the vibe, right?
Yo,
That's
calculus.
the fucking vibe.
Yo, calculus is like that one vecina that always snitch on you.
Word. When you got the loud music, she's like con la escoba, like la música.
Sí, pero ahí, doña, ¿tú sabes qué hora llegó Héctor?
Nah, chill. That's how happened a few times.
My brother Hector, man, we proud of you.
Thank you,
Word
thank
up.
you,
We're
thank you. I appreciate
motherfucking
it.
proud of you,
That's
bro.
a
You're
fact,
doing
man.
a lot of big things out here, man.
I
And keep
appreciate
it,
it.
don't keep
And my
it
man
going.
Dominican de Bani is a
Del
rat.
patio, del patio.
It's a rat.
Ese vecino
That's
tuyo.
it, word up.
Cuidado que la
Oh.
mamá de la que te choteaba a ti cuando tú llegabas tarde.
Nah, my mom, Dad be chilling, the most chill lady I've ever
That's
seen.
what's up, bro.
That's
All right,
what's up.
one last thing I
Go
wanted
for it.
to
Yeah.
touch into, right?
Go for it.
One thing in our community, right? I'm at the school that I'm at, right? I had this one experience, and I just feel like we don't really speak about it too much in our community. And it was like this, right? So there's an organization on campus. I'm not gonna say any names or nothing like that. There's an organization on campus, right? And they have an annual dinner, right? And they have awards, right, for each class.
Yeah.
And I'm the junior class, and they had a poll that you log into your phone and click, right? And everybody voted, right? And for some reason, my friend called me 30 minutes before the awards were given, like, yo, you about to get this award, bro. You on the top of the poll. Like, pull up. I'm like, yo, I'm sitting in bed chilling. Like, I'm chilling extra hard. I keep chilling in the
Aqui
dorm room.
chillin'.
Right. And I'm just like, damn. I'm like, I bet. Yo, I got together, threw in the shower, did everything. I threw the suit on, put my tie on. I'm like, I bet. Sprinted. I hit it. And I pulled up to the ballroom, right? I'm sitting there. I'm like, I bet. They get to the award. And I was just like, all right. They just finished this one. All right, let's get it. I get up. I'm like, all right, let's go. I get up, like, let's do it. And I ain't get it. I was like, that ain't my name, son. Right? So then, like, a month later, somebody, like, come up to me, like, yo, like, what's up? How you doing? We catching up. And they're just like, yo, you ever found out why you ain't get that award? And I was like, nah, I don't know. I wasn't bothered by it. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? We
Right.
always get certificates and shit. Like, it's cool. I don't value myself off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Exactly.
bigger than that. So they told me there was like, oh, you know, since it's like a black organization on campus, like they just felt like you weren't black enough.
Oh, wow.
I was like, excuse moi? Like, what you mean? It was just like, yeah, you're just not black enough. Like, you just Dominican. You was born in DR. Like, you know, you dark skin and all, but like, you ain't
Really?
you ain't black like that. Like, you ain't Harlem type of black. You know? I was just like, okay. So all I'm trying to say is, it's just like within our own communities, like there's internalized racism within our own communities. There's like, we pull each other down. We're crabs in a barrel. It's just like, we gotta help each other. We gotta grow.
help each other.
We gotta break that.
Right, it got to be bigger than that. Like,
Yeah.
we be deteriorating each other. Like, we want to fight, you know, racism and all these big issues.
We gotta start with us.
Right, we want to fight gun control and policing, police brutality. But like, bro, we gotta unify ourselves first.
Yeah.
What do you think they did in the '60s? They fought each other. Nah, they unified.
became-
You know what I'm saying? It was a team. So
Exactly.
it's like in Dominican culture, we got morenito, trigañito. New York, we got light skin, dark skin. Like, bro, like, come on, we gotta stop
on,
that.
man.
Yo, when you go back to school, bro.
August 28th, and I come back from DR August 26th. It's crazy. That bus ride
Oh,
about
that's
to be
gonna
tough.
be
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Facts.
That's
But
gonna be
we
tough.
maximizing our
But
time
you
out
got
there
the
with the kids.
coffee, man.
It's
Yeah.
lit.
And
Yeah.
you know what?
You got the coffee
Don't
to
that
keep
that
you up.
award don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
At
fact,
the end of the
No,
day,
but it was just that sense
It's
of like,
just
you know what? It's a
Yeah.
walking experience where I could just tell people like, yo, like, we got to change that in our community.
We
Like,
do.
that shit don't faze
We
me.
do.
But it's just like somebody else would be like,
we still have a
broken.
long way to go because even in
Absolutely.
our community back home, there's a lot of racism. You
Oh,
know?
my
Our
God.
community lacks
I'll touch on that
perspective.
too, real quick,
Go for it. Go
right?
for it. Go for it.
The thing is, back home, right? I partner with a company called Cafe Creole. And what their thing is, so like if you go to Haiti, right? Haiti, after the earthquake and all these natural disasters, their economy has been messed up for a long time, right? And we don't really aid them that much. And the company that I partner with, we actually look to source and pay premium prices for Haitian coffee. So I source Dominican, Haitian, Colombian, and to an Ethiopian, right?
Nice.
And the Haitian farmers actually get a premium for their organic coffee. So what happens is, companies like the Red Cross, you know, UNICEF and all these things, they fly in hundreds and thousands of pounds of rice, beans, coffee, whatever. And you know what they do? They give it out for free. Yeah, you guys need help? Here it is. Coffee, whatever. And you know what happens? The farmer, Juancito, whatever, pulls up like, hey, I got $1 coffee. Here, buy it. But UNICEF was like, hey, guys, here's free coffee. You can't compete against free.
Can't compete against
So you know
free.
what happens? They get all these continuous free things all the time because, you know, it's cool. It's amazing to get free things, but you know what? There's no cycle in community. There's no cycle in the country itself.
And the local
Right,
farmers
because you're
struggling.
just all the local farmers who produce corn, coffee, beans. You know what they do? That shit rots.
Oh.
They can't sell it. So you're not really investing in the community. How about you give them the money to buy that thing?
That's crazy.
And let it circulate. So it's one of those things where we source from Haiti and all of these countries, DR too, to help these farmers regenerate their economy, their life, and all of these things.
Beautiful.
Just
Damn,
wanted to touch
Hector.
into that.
Damn, this guy, man, you dropped
like
a lot
how
of
he
knowledge,
calls
my
Just wanted to
brother.
let you know.
Bro.
Yo, and definitely you better keep in touch with us.
Oh, for sure,
We're here
man.
to
It's
support
family
the
now.
cause.
You
It's
already
family.
know.
No,
You already
all our
know.
guests become family, man, because at the end of the day, we're supporting them as well as you supporting us by
Exactly.
joining us.
Absolutely, man.
You know,
It's a
and-
shared vision.
And
you know
let's
what I'm saying?
grow because 10 years down the line, you never know where we all gonna be.
You never
Facts.
know.
It's a small ass world, bro. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
Let's keep
gotta
it
keep
together, my
grinding,
brother.
man. Keep
Thank you for
grinding.
joining us.
You already
Brother.
know.
Thank
Aqui
you.
Chillin is a vibe,
It's a
bro.
vibe.
Thank you.
You already know.
I like how I dap y'all. Should be like, hey.
I don't
It
know.
be like that. It be
know.
Come
like
on,
that.
you from Brooklyn.
He's a
You good to go.
gentleman. He's a
Right, right,
gentleman.
right,
I don't want to be zapping and
Nah,
stuff.
you good. You good. I just
We
feel like
chilling.
these social stereotypes guide us a
You know
certain
what
way.
I'm
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
so
But
good.
don't test me though.
Nah,
Yo, but you know
nah.
what? Aqui Chillin is over,
Chill.
bro. This episode is over and I'm out.
Oh yeah, nah. I'm gonna keep this back right here.